Hello everyone, so recently I've been collecting charms for summoning and wondered, what are the fastest methods to gather crimson charms? Gathering charms can be fairly difficult if training summoning to high levels, especially for the coveted Pekyak familiar. Crimson charms in particular is a great way to train summoning as experience given is better than gold and green, as well as the price to make pouches is moderately cheap compared to blues. There are several monsters that drop crimson charms such as Glaciors, Aerots, Abyssal Demons, and Necrio. However, I'll be going over 3 specific creatures for collecting crimson charms the fastest. These 3 monsters are Dagannoths, Rock Lobsters, and Waterfiends. Waterfiends is a well-known creature for Slayer assignments and gathering crimson charms by most players as their drop rate is very high of approximately over 70%. Dagannoths also share the same spotlight as Waterfiends for Slayer assignments along with the 3 boss kings, but their drop rate for crimsons is much less in comparison to Waterfiends. Rock Lobsters, on the other hand, are quite an underrated monster for collecting crimson charms as they are only located in Waterbirth Dungeon, which can be a hassle to traverse through, though they drop 2 charms at a time upon death and their drop rate is about the same as Dagannoths. For each of the 3 monsters, I did a test killing each creature for 2 hours each to determine how many crimson charms collected per hour, price for supplies used, and experience rates. At Waterfiends, in 1 hour I was able to collect 364 crimson charms, 11 blue, and 30 green. No gold charms were collected as I did not pick these up. The range experience I received was 592,000 with a bit of bonus, but the actual was 438,000 range with 146,000 constitution experience. In the second hour, I was able to collect 380 crimson charms, 12 blue, and 24 green. This averages to 372 crimson charms per hour. The amount of experience I gained was 436,000 range and 148,000 constitution. For gear setup, I used full Death Lotus, Scrimshaw Cruelty, Glaven Boots, Reverence Ura, and Royal Crossbow. These items are not necessary for Waterfiends and different items can be swapped such as Armadillo Armor, Royal Dragonhide, Crystal Bow, Ascension Crossbows, and so forth. Keep in mind I used a Steel Titan, Overloads, Anguish, and had 99 range, so charms collected may vary between players. The supplies I used for 2 hours of Waterfiends was 24 Prayer Potions, 4 Overload Flasks, 4 Prayer Renewal Flasks, which cost a total of 535,000. Grand exchange prices may fluctuate up or down, so prices may change over time. Moving on to Dagannoths, for 1 hour I was able to collect 474 crimsons, 12 blue, and 100 green charms. The amount of experience I earned was 291,000 magic and 124,000 constitution. During the second hour, I was able to accumulate 470 crimson, 11 blue, and 88 green charms. Along with this, the experience earned was 297,000 magic and 125,000 constitution. Since Dagannoths are not aggressive in Waterbirth Dungeon, you want to use a cannon in order to cause monster aggression. As for gear, you primarily want to use magic as Dagannoths are weak to earth spells at Waterbirth Dungeon. I chose to use Shadow Barrage on Legacy as the basic auto attacks deal high damage and can hit multiple Dagannoths, but you can opt to use Shadow Burst to save cash on runes or use Revolution on ELC. The requirements needed are 92 prayer for Soul Split, a Bone Crusher, and Twisted Bird, Split Dragon Tooth, or Demon Horn Necklace. Having these items is not mandatory but makes killing Dagannoths much easier. If any of the requirements are not met, you can use prayer potions, a healing familiar, or enhanced Excalibur and food as other alternatives. The supplies I used for 2 hours at Dagannoths was 5,900 cannonballs, 3,700 blood runes, 9,300 earth runes, 4 overload flasks, 4 prayer renewal flasks, and 10 prayer potion. This costs a total of 4.3 mil and is 2.1 mil per hour, which is very costly for killing Dagannoths in order to collect crimson charms. Lastly, for Rock Lobsters, in 1 hour I was able to gather 313 crimson, 13 blue, and 66 green charms. The experience I obtained in 1 hour was 220,000 magic and 73 constitution. In the second hour I was able to collect 257 crimson, 8 blue, and 75 green charms. Along with this, the experience was 236,000 magic and 78,000 constitution. The supplies I used for 2 hours at Rock Lobsters was 876 blood runes, 2,100 water runes, 4 overload flasks, 4 prayer renewal flasks, and 2 prayer potions. The cost for supplies in total was 889,000, so 444,000 per hour at Rock Lobsters. Rock Lobsters can be a bit tricky to kill at Waterbirth Dungeon since you have to use a luring method to round up all the lobsters within the area. To lure the rock lobsters, you want to stand behind the ladder on the south side as a safe spot, then turn on Protect from Melee Prayer and run around east, rounding up all the rock lobsters. Once you reach the corner, run south, then west near the bottom by the Walaski until you have rounded up 8 or 9 lobsters. After this is done, you want to run back up northeast by the corner of the dungeon, and there is a specific spot to stand on for a safe spot to attack the lobsters. You want to be using magic gear and ancient spells similar to that of Dagannoth, except water spells since rock lobsters are weak to them. The minimum requirement to kill rock lobsters is 82 magic for ice burst and 43 prayer for protection from melee. For lower level players, you may want to bring food, a healing familiar, or an enhanced Excalibur. Alternatively, you can use Blood Burst or Barrage on the rock lobsters to heal any lost health. So out of the 3 monsters mentioned, Dagannoth is the fastest method to collect Crimson Charms per hour, while rock lobsters is the slowest and Waterfiends fall in the middle between the two. Although Dagannoth may be the fastest method of gathering Crimson Charms, the requirements and cost is high in comparison to Waterfiends and rock lobsters. Rock lobsters can be annoying to lure all of them in one spot and can sometimes be tedious after long periods of time. Waterfiend is arguably the best in terms of crimsons at a good rate and may be profitable if picking up any drops. Overall, I like these 3 methods of Crimson Charm collecting, especially Dagannoth, as it is relaxing and less cook intensive. If there are any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching and have an awesome day.